The House of Representatives could be voting on the estimated $1.75 trillion Build Back Better bill by tomorrow. Debate is already underway. But there's been one little hang-up for the last few weeks that's put a stop to the progress. Some moderate Democrats have been holding their votes until the CBO score is released. So what's that, and who's the CBO? First, the Build Back Better bill is the one that some call the Human Infrastructure Bill. It's the one that would expand the social safety net. It includes several things, like the monthly child tax credit extension, the expansion of Medicare and Medicaid, and universal pre-K, just to name a few. So back to the CBO. The CBO is the Congressional Budget Office, a nonpartisan office established by a 1974 law to provide objective, nonpartisan information that would support the budget process. Basically, the CBO takes the politics out of the lawmaking process and boils it down to dollars and cents. How much is this law going to cost in the immediate future and over its lifetime? The CBO is required by law to produce a formal cost estimate for nearly every bill that's approved by a full committee of either the House or the Senate. Those cost estimates are only advisory. The CBO is not an enforcement entity, and they do not make policy recommendations. So why do we care, and why do these moderate Democrats care? Well, first, we know Republican leadership in both the House and the Senate say they are not going to support this bill. So Democrats know they have to do it on their own through a process called budget reconciliation. But to do that, that means almost every single Democrat and independent has to vote yes. And right now, they don't have the votes in the House or the Senate. Moderate Democrats are concerned about the projected cost of this $1.75 trillion bill over its 10-year lifetime. The White House insists it is fully paid for, but it's very possible the CBO will not agree with that. The CBO says its full assessment of the Build Back Better bill and a score should be released no later than the end of business on Friday, November 19th. It could definitely come before that, though. Now, between me and you, the CBO and politicians disagree all the time. It's worth noting, when the Trump tax cuts were being debated, the then Treasury Secretary, Steven Mnuchin, claimed that the tax law would not only pay for itself through higher growth, but would also reduce the deficit by $1 trillion. Well, at the time, the CBO was like, not so fast, and projected that the tax cut would actually add $1.9 trillion to the deficit over 10 years, even after accounting for any possible growth effects. So this contradiction happens all the time. Surprise! The CBO report is out early, and the House says because of it, they want to vote on the Build Back Better bill as soon as tonight. The Congressional Budget Office released its full assessment report on the bill just a little while ago. For those of you who don't know what the Congressional Budget Office is or why this report is so important, go watch this video. It's the one right before this one. So, what did the CBO find? Well, a lot. But the most important number you need to know is $367 billion. The report says Build Back Better would increase the federal budget deficit by $367 billion from 2022 to 2031, which is the lifetime of the law if passed. The CBO also pointed out that it did not include the revenue that could come into the government from several of the key proposals in the bill, like giving the IRS the power to go after people who aren't paying their taxes, among many other proposals. The White House claims the IRS enforcement alone would generate $400 billion in revenue. The CBO says that number looks a little more like $207 billion. But the CBO report also says there are other projected revenue streams that could come into the government as a result of this bill if it was passed that could reduce further the $367 billion number, but technically the CBO can't score those. House lawmakers continue to debate the bill on the floor as we speak, and as soon as they make a decision about the vote timing, I'll let you know. Also, it's important to understand it's very possible that this bill will change significantly, and some proposals will stay and some will go by the time it gets to the Senate. Nothing is done yet.